Just imagine an alien parasite that doubles when touched. At the beginning of the story, a coach is shown training his students. Everyone is performing very well, but suddenly, the coach sits on the ground and seems to see something unusual, as if he has encountered something unique. However, in the next moment, someone stands behind the coach. The scene then abruptly fades to black. Next, we see a staff member of the school, where all the teachers are finishing their lectures and heading home. The principal, who is talking to another teacher, remembers that she left some keys in her office. She goes back to the office to get the keys, but suddenly finds something strange that behaves in a peculiar way. Now, something starts misbehaving around the principal. Although the principal is talking to it calmly, suddenly the coach picks up a pencil and strikes it into the principal's hand, causing her immense pain. The principal quickly runs to the door, but the coach has locked it, preventing her from escaping. The principal's friend, who is standing outside, tells her that they cannot open the door without the keys. Therefore, the principal quickly goes to get the keys. After getting the keys, she gives them to her friend so they can open the door and get her out. The principal is fortunate to escape before the coach arrives and locks him inside, so he cannot attack her. However, another problem arises when the principal's friend suddenly attacks her with scissors, as if she is not in control of herself. Following this incident, the next day, a girl named Nina is shown, who is very shy. She is in love with a girl named Layla, but because she is very weak and poor, Layla does not give her any attention. Now, amidst all this, what can anyone do? The situation is the same for poor boys throughout the school. We then see the same school staff where all the teachers are present, and there is something continuously leaking water for unknown reasons. Then, the same teacher who had attacked the principal arrives at the scene and starts laughing upon seeing the coach. It becomes clear that this teacher is also in league with the coach. Next, someone is shown on the ground who finds a mysterious insect lying dead on the ground. He takes the insect to his professor. In the laboratory, when the professor examines the insect under a microscope, he realizes that it is not dead. However, as soon as a little water is dropped on the insect, it begins to move on its own. The students are puzzled about what is happening. The professor then puts the insect in a tank of water, and it becomes fully alive. When the professor touches it, the insect's body splits into two parts. Moreover, the part bitten by the insect also turns into another insect. In other words, it keeps multiplying when touched. When the professor reaches into the tank to remove the insect, it extends its sharp stingers and injures the professor's hand, causing a lot of bleeding. Next, a student named Mike is shown taking a shower at school. Suddenly, Mike's teacher arrives, whose face looks very pale. Initially, Mike is very scared, but when the teacher says that a great danger is approaching them, Mike realizes that the teacher might be mentally unstable. After a short while, despite Mike's fear and screaming, the teacher dies. Mike, along with someone, informs about these events involving the teacher who had attacked the principal. The teacher claims that there is no need to be afraid, suggesting that the teacher might have had cancer, which led to their death. Relieved by this explanation, Mike starts to think about the strange events happening at the school. He then notices something standing alone on the ground, continuously falling. Amidst all these events, Layla and Kaisi discuss the unusual occurrences at the school, including the recent death of their principal. Layla and Kaisi then go to a staff room to investigate. They feel that someone is approaching from inside, so Kaisi hides with Layla in a cupboard. In the staff room, the same teacher who was with the coach had come along, and both of them continued to drink water in a strange manner. Meanwhile, someone was hiding in the cupboard, observing all these events. Suddenly, another teacher entered the staff room, and before anyone could see, an attack occurred. An alien parasite was injected into the teacher's body by someone using their mouth, causing the second teacher to also become infected. Layla, witnessing all this, becomes extremely scared and goes to investigate the sound coming from the cupboard. Another person, Layla, pushes both of them out of the staff room. Terrified by the events, they run away, only to encounter the principal, who appears to have already died. This reveals that the principal is now also infected. Someone quickly called the police to come to the school. After a short while, the police arrived to investigate. Although nothing unusual was found during their search, the principal took a police officer to her room. After a brief interaction, they both went outside. However, the behavior of the police officer seemed off to everyone. In fact, the principal had infected the police officer, so his mind was under the control of the alien parasite. After school, when someone went home, the principal had informed their parents about some terrible things, causing them to be very angry. They believed that their child had become a drug addict, leading the father to lock the child in a room. Now, someone needed to find out what was happening in the school. To do this, they went down the window to meet Layla. Meanwhile, Kaisi saw the coach, principal, and teacher outside below her house. Terrified, Kaisi fell down outside her house. When she got up and looked, the three were no longer there. The next day, the school staff was shown where almost all the teachers had become infected. They were drinking as much water as possible because the water gave strength to the alien parasite. At the school, a student named Jeet supplied drugs to other students. Many people gathered to buy drugs from Jeet. Although Jeet had been punished multiple times for this, he never changed his habits. In a library, Jeet was discussing these matters with his female friend. Meanwhile, Mike and his other friends went to the laboratory to see the small alien insect. However, when they reached the laboratory, they found that the water tank was completely empty, indicating that the alien insect had disappeared. In the laboratory, one of their friends arrived, and soon the professor also came to the scene. Jeet asked the professor where the alien insect had gone. But in the next moment, the professor went completely out of control and started attacking Jeet's friends, confirming that the professor was also under the control of the alien insect. Despite Jeet and his friends fighting the professor, any injuries the professor sustained were quickly healed due to the alien's influence. The professor then captured Jeet, intending to use him to sell drugs. Jeet, trying to defend himself, managed to strike the professor in the eye with a pen. Due to the impact, the professor began to melt, and soon after, he met a painful death. Jeet and his friends collected the alien insect and took it to a room where there were many machines for creating drugs. In the room, they began experimenting with the alien insect. They first placed a small piece of the insect near a rat. After adding water to the insect, it became active and quickly took control of the rat's brain. It became clear that the alien insect was controlling everyone. However, when another person applied drugs to the alien insect, it died within seconds, revealing that drugs were the insect's weakness. Therefore, Jeet decides that everyone must take the drugs one by one to identify who among them is infected. Although Jeet and his friends reluctantly agree to take the drugs, Layla refuses to take them, indicating that she is completely under the control of the alien insect. Layla then attacks her own friends and escapes. Jeet tells his remaining friends that there must be a queen among these alien insects, and if they kill the queen, the other alien insects will also be eliminated. So, Jeet and his friends head to deal with the principal, suspecting that the queen might be inside her. Jeet asks the principal to take the drug, but the principal outright refuses. In his anger, Jeet hits the principal on the head, causing her to fall. Jeet and his friends believe they have killed the queen, but suddenly, the principal gets up and starts revealing her true form. However, Jeet and the others quickly throw drugs on her face, ensuring that she remains incapacitated permanently. It becomes clear to them that the queen was not inside the principal. She must be someone else. The coach, along with other infected students, is charging up in the rain. Jeet and his friends have run out of drugs, and to eliminate the alien insects for good, they need more drugs. Jeet thinks there might be drugs in his car, so he heads towards his car with his friends. However, soon after, the coach and his infected students spot Jeet. They hide under the school buses, but Layla then appears before them. Unable to figure out what to do, they quickly leave the bus and flee. Jeet searches for drugs near his car, but finds nothing. Just then, a teacher arrives who is visibly infected, and she immediately attacks Jeet. To save his life, Jeet immediately uses a stick to hit the teacher. In the accident, the teacher's neck gets cut due to the alien insect, which causes the teacher's head to reattach to the body. Meanwhile, Jeet manages to escape. Jeet is with his friends, but suddenly, they notice that Jeet has gone out of control and starts attacking his own friends. Jeet arrives just in time to discover that the alien insect is none other than the alien queen herself, who is very dangerous and frightening. The alien queen starts attacking the remaining students continuously. Anyone touched by the alien queen's tentacles becomes directly infected. The alien queen even pulls one of Jeet's friends into the water. Although Jeet manages to pull his friend out later, he realizes that his friend is now infected. Jeet is attacked from all sides, but eventually, he receives help from his friends. Despite the attacks, Jeet loses consciousness. His friends manage to gather all the pens containing drugs and use them to fight the alien queen. They use a distraction technique, making noise at a different location to lure the alien queen away. Once the queen arrives at the distraction site, they pull a lever to trap her there. When the alien queen attempts to attack, they throw drug-infused water into her eyes, causing the drugs to spread throughout her body. This results in the alien queen's body deteriorating rapidly, leading to her permanent demise. With the alien queen defeated, all alien insects are also eliminated. The people infected by the alien insects return to normal. After everything is resolved, Jeet and his friends are hailed as heroes. Layla expresses her admiration for Jeet. And so, our story ends here.